I think we are almost live. All right, let's see how we're doing here. Okay, I think we're live. I think we are. Oh, yeah, because I can hear my voice. All right, so let's get this shared out on socials. Hold on 1 second. Maria, while we're building an audience here a little bit, if you want to go over, and share it, I don't know if you feel like you can handle that right now.
What page is it on?
It's on Thomas John.
Okay,
But you don't have to.
I can do that. Is there a reason I don't see it?
What'd you say?
Is there a reason I don't see it?
You should. Maybe just refresh my page. Just kind of want to build a little bit of an audience before we start going. If you guys are coming in, we're going to be talking right now. We're live on YouTube and we're posting this out on Twitter and Facebook. And I'm here with psychic medium Maria Verdeschi. So come and join us. Okay, you ready to get started, Maria?
I am.
Okay, good. Well, actually, let's just see here. Did you get that posted out?
I just found it now.
Okay. So come on in, guys. We're going to be talking to Maria Verdeschi. We're going to get started in just about a minute here. It's like a weird angle, so I'm going to actually kind of put this up a little bit. Making me look like I have 12 chins. All right, that's a little bit of a better angle. All right, well, hi everybody. I think a lot of people are coming in, so welcome. I am here with psychic medium Maria Verdeschi. Many of you have known her. I have done some events with her. I've done some live events with her. We've been working together for a while, and I'm doing this sort of in-depth interview series with different people that I respect and different people that I feel do really interesting work. And so Maria is somebody that I wanted to have on. So welcome, Maria.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you. So thanks for being here. So first off, Maria, I want to talk to you. First off, let's just let everybody know a little bit about you in terms of where they can find you, and we'll promote this throughout our conversation, but where are some places that people can find you in terms of your website and your social media?
People can find me on Facebook under Maria Verdeschi, and Instagram under Maria Verdeschi, Twitter under Maria Verdeschi. My website is mariaverdeschi.com.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And those are the best places.
Okay, great. So Maria, tell me a little bit about yourself. I know that you have been working in the psychic medium space for quite some time. Tell me a little bit about how you got involved in, knowing that you had a gift, and How did that all unfold for you? And actually, let's start at the beginning. So tell me a little bit about growing up. Did you have your abilities developed then? And tell me how that is.
So I was the child at age 3 or 4 who could hear things in her room and was terrified to go to sleep. And that closet, if I could have taken the closet out of my room, I would have. And I can remember the first time going to my parents' room saying, "There's people in my room. They're talking." And they humored me and they came in, "No, no one's here. No one's in the closet under the bed." So the second time I went in there, I got yelled at. "There's no one in there. Go back to your room." And I learned super quick, shut up and don't tell anybody. And then I never told anybody again. I still heard things and interacted with things, still got messages. I just never told anybody.
Wow. And what is it when you say you heard things? Because I know everybody has different experiences of psychic abilities. What is it that you would hear? I mean, what is it that you would you hear voices? How did you experience it?
So I could hear, and when I say I could hear, it's more in here, kind of like that when you're thinking or in that dream state or daydreaming. So I would hear full-blown conversations. I literally had some angry man that was in my room almost every night, just and feeling this angry energy. But we were surrounded by woods in Long Island. And when I went outside, it was magic. So, and I would still have conversations out there and pick up on things out there, but it was magic out there. My room wasn't always so hectic, but most of the time it was. And I just remember bedtime was not fun.
Mm-hmm. And tell me a little bit about, what a little bit more in depth. What were your parents? I mean, how did they handle this? I mean, what was their responses to this? Were you close to your parents growing up?
I was pretty close, but they're pretty strict parents. So the second time when I got yelled at and go back to your room, there's no one in there, I never mentioned it again. Just never. So in my opinion, they handled it horribly. But that's just my opinion because then I wasn't able to share anything. It was just kind of all shut down. The only time I remember saying something to my mom, but I made it more of a dream, but I knew it was a message, was after her mother had passed. So my Nana, that was my mom's mom, she came to me and said, "Tell your mom I'm okay." My mom was pretty devastated when her mom passed. And so I just said, "Hey, Mom, I had this really crazy dream and Nana appeared." And she said she's okay.
Wow. Okay. Tell me as you've, because obviously you had these gifts, you had these abilities. When did you start to realize that there was such a thing as a psychic, as a medium, as something like that?
I was always drawn to this. And I can remember always having these strong gut feelings. But when you're with people that kind of shove that down and they're like, "No, you're wrong. No, that's crazy." But you're sitting there going, "Really?" Because gosh, I've got this really strong gut feeling that, whatever it is. So I can remember going for a reading one time with a psychic medium and her saying, "You're like me. You're very psychic. You're a medium. You could do this full time if you wanted to." And I kind of just laughed and thought, well, that just all makes sense now.
That's interesting. Okay. Now, tell me about this. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, but I'm curious. You are a mom. And you have
Mhm.
children, right?
Yes.
How is it being a psychic medium that has children? And what do they think about your abilities?
I'm really lucky because all three of my kids, I have three kids. My son's the oldest. So he's 28. I have a daughter that's 22, and my youngest is 19. They all support what I do. I'm really lucky. And my daughter, my 22-year-old, she just graduated from college, but she used to have me up with her sorority, and I would do readings for the group, and they were so excited to have me up there. And my son really respects everything that I do. Like, I just feel so blessed.
Mhm.
And they're pretty funny. So my son, the 28-year-old, who he'll say, "Oh, I found this. I know that that was Nana thinking of me." And that's my mom who passed.
Mhm.
And so, but he doesn't think he has any gifts, let alone he's very gifted with numbers and like the stock market.
Mhm.
I turned all my stuff over to him one day and said, "Here, it's yours. Just do it. Just whatever." And, "Are you sure, Mom?" "Oh my God." And I'm like, "I know you are intuitive this way. Go ahead."
Mhm.
He's very intuitive, like numbers.
Wow.
Anytime.
Now, I know you also are a person that does a lot of classes and you do a lot of teaching and you do a lot of workshops and things like that. Tell me about that piece of things. What do you get a lot of joy out of that? Do you like that? What is it? Do you like teaching?
I love teaching. In fact, I just taught a class 2 days ago, and someone had sent one of my friends a little message saying, "Oh my God, she was energized the whole time, like for 2.5 hours during this class. I left energized." I was so happy to see that the person taking the class left energized, because 2.5 hours can be a little long, on your laptop and everything. But I love teaching. It's kind of one of my passions,
Oh, wow.
because I'll have people coming in saying, "I don't think I have any of this, and I wish I did." And then once they start going in the breakout rooms and practicing with someone else, they come back with the biggest smile and
Oh,
say,
wow.
"Wow, I do."
That's awesome. Yeah. So you love to kind of see people really kind of accomplish their goals and feel like they can tap into this.
Yes, I love that. Yes.
That's awesome. Now, tell me a little bit, as we explore this further and stuff. As a psychic medium, I know, and like I said, this is about, because I, of course, have my opinions about stuff too, but I want this people to learn from you and get to know you. So, as a psychic medium, we are faced with a challenging job of kind of, doing our work and dealing with, skepticism or people having fear or things like this. What do you find to be the most maybe frustrating aspects of your work? I mean, what is it, the part that maybe, not annoys you, but frustrates you?
Um, Part of it is being disrespected, because I am so respectful of everybody. No matter really what you believe, I am so respectful. I'm respectful of everybody's space and their energy. So, one time someone's reading wasn't going quite the way that they wanted. They literally didn't like what I was bringing up. It was hitting some nerves.
Hmm.
They started yelling at me.
Wow.
And I've only had this happen once, where I literally got yelled at, and I'm thinking, "Oh, this is a lesson for me." So I will do that too. I'll say, "All right, Maria, what do you need to learn with this right now?" And it was about boundaries and about shutting it down.
Hmm.
But that's not something I would ever do to anybody.
Hmm.
So I would have to say respect or lack of when that happens.
Hmm. What do you, and where do you think that comes from? Where do you think that where does that come for as far as you? You know, where does that show up? Where, I mean, you know, where in terms of for people, what is the source of that? Do you think it's fear? Do you think it's anxiety? You know, what do you think it is?
Oh, a lot of fear. So what you're asking is like, why would that
Yeah,
person
why? Yeah.
me? Fear.
Hmm.
And, you know, they didn't like that right away. Their
Hmm.
person was jumping right into probably what they didn't really want to jump into.
Right.
And I can't help that.
Mhm.
You know, when you book a reading, I can't control who's going to come in or what they're going to bring up.
Right, you can't, and we know that in all mediumship that we can't. Tell me, Maria, you know, there's so many psychic mediums that, you know, obviously, especially in the last decade, we've had such a exposure of TV shows and TV programs. What do you think about the fact that there are psychics on TV? Do you think it helps our profession, or do you think it, you know, do you think it hurts our profession? What do you think about that?
Oh, I think for the most part, I'm going to say it helps.
Hmm.
Because I know that people who have had exposure to you,
Hmm.
and I literally had someone too that went and saw Teresa Caputo
Hmm.
in like in one of her bigger group things. And then they came to me for a reading and I had them laughing and I was like, okay, no pressure. But the mother was still a little skeptical about the whole thing, but her daughter came in so big with all these validations that
Hmm.
it was like, okay, it's kind of like Teresa opened her eyes a little bit, like, okay, maybe this is. And then she came to me and said, all right, there's something, there is.
And I agree with you. I think that that really helps, you know, um, as long as it's done in the right way. I think
Yes,
that exposure really helps. Um,
yes.
in what's going on with the COVID and the, you know, quarantining, have you had a lot of people that have actually, I mean, obviously you've been doing probably a lot of phone, virtual readings, Zoom readings, things like that. Do you notice, I mean, I personally feel like there is not a difference, but what do you think in terms of, do you find there's a difference between your in-person reading versus your phone, you know, your phone reading?
So what I did this year, and I kind of laugh at myself going, oh, Marie, why didn't you do this sooner? I switched the phone readings to Zoom. So I do all readings through Zoom, unless if I have someone that just does not have internet or something like that. And that's only happened like once or twice.
Hmm.
And I've noticed that, and no, there's no difference between, and there's no difference doing it on the phone either. So if I do it on the phone, if I do it on Zoom, or if I do it in person, there is no difference. What I noticed with the Zoom though, with people, as opposed to the phone, it's like they could see my house, like the blue couch and everything back there, and you could just see the energy go, oh, okay, so she's not in her basement with the cauldron doing this.
Right.
So the whole energy just kind of like opened up.
That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Now, tell me also, with as far as, you know, what you're doing, and you know, what going forward are you the most excited about? You know, what things are you offering that you might be excited about? What are some things that you're really feeling excited about?
I'm gonna be putting more classes up. I've got a like beginner's mediumship class that's going to start on Sunday. That's going to be for like 4 weeks. But I'm going to be adding some other classes. I love doing the classes. It just brings me a lot of joy. And I feel like I'm really helping with doing the classes. I'll literally have people say, oh, the light bulb just went off. Okay, I get it. And they just have that aha moment, or they get different ways of doing things. They learn something new and they get all excited about it. It's so much fun. So I'm going to be putting up more classes because it just brings me a lot of joy to do them.
Yeah. I mean, there is something that's so rewarding about the teaching. Tell me, Maria, I know I was noticing that you were doing some stuff. I don't know if it was like hauntings or in a hotel or what. Tell me what that's all about.
So my kids and I, well, it was the first year that my son got to join in, but my daughters and I have been doing it for several years where we'll go and stay at different haunted places. So I call it our haunted vacations. And we went this year. We were real careful, but we went. And so my middle one is more open to seeing things.
Uh-huh.
She'll catch things and she'll feel things, where the other two aren't as open for that. So
Okay.
it's really fun with her because she'll point something out like, Mom, did you just see that out of the corner of your
Right.
eye? And we have fun. And we're also the ones that sleep like babies in these haunted places.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun, my son had fun doing it. And just experiencing the different energies. Now, he was a little funny with it because he's like, yeah, I don't really feel anything. But then every once in a while he'd say, oh, I kind of felt something there. So it's a fun thing that we all kind of share. More so with my daughters.
That's very cool. A question that comes up a lot for people is difference between psychic and medium. What's the difference between a psychic and a medium? What would you say? How do you answer that in terms of what is the difference between would you say between somebody who is a psychic versus a medium? Of course, how would you define that for people?
So how I define it is, I think that people that are mediums are just naturally psychics, because I know in my readings, it might start off mediumship where I'm bringing their family members in. So with mediums, your family members are going to be coming in, guides, loved ones, friends that have crossed over. Psychic is more future stuff, like, okay, am I going to get married in the future? Am I going to have kids? How many kids do you see me having? But I know with my readings, it might go into some psychic information and then go back to the medium information. So for me, it kind of goes in and out. But I know some people that are just psychics and that's what they do. They don't connect.
They don't do that, right?
They don't do that.
Yeah. And, I think, as we've evolved, I think in our way of thinking with mediumship, I think that, I think we used to have a more traditional view of how mediumship was, or the way that, mediumship was, and the, the format that it takes. But I really think now, we know that mediumship is just so dynamic. And I do think you can go between the medium and the psychic in a reading. And I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with that. What would you say to people who are interested in really starting to develop their psychic abilities? And let's just say somebody's watching this now and they think that they would like to, maybe they have a gift, maybe they have an ability. What would you say to somebody who's interested in possibly taking that first step?
I've had a lot of this lately. And what I have told people is classes. You really need to go into some classes. And also what I've told people is I'll give them some names, and then I'll say what you need to do now is go to their website, go and see how you're feeling with it. See what your gut says. I always tell everybody to go with your gut on everything. So I'll mention people that have classes up, that I know that they've got classes, and I'll say, you know what? Go check all of these people out and then see which one your gut says yes to. The funny thing was, it's funny you asked this because I just had one yesterday that does like forensics or something like that. Like that's her job. And I already picked up on her abilities. And I said, you really need to take a class. And it was so funny because you've got that one coming up. And I said, I can't even believe I have a class for you, but I do.
Oh, wow.
And here, Thomas John's got this forensic class that's coming up. And I'm so excited, like I can give you a class because I get excited about that because I'm helping someone figure out something about themselves.
Right. And I think that is so important and so crucial. So, and I think anything we can do to, connect them to the right people and stuff. And I also tell people too, it's very often, there's a medium for everybody. And, and you might resonate with somebody and I might resonate with somebody and you might resonate with somebody and that's fine too. As long as people are learning and growing and doing ethical, really good work, it's great. I mean, it's really a no lose situation, so.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, Maria, I want to first off just thank you for taking some time to spend with our folks today. I know that people really enjoyed listening to your story, listening to how you have come in touch with your gifts, how you've opened up your heart to your abilities. Where can people find you if they want to connect with you?
And thank you for having me on, Thomas John.
Sure.
This was very fun. I loved it. People can find me at Maria Verdeschi, VERDESCHI.com. That's my website. I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all under Maria Verdeschi.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, as I said, we want to thank you guys for tuning in today. We want to thank you guys for being a part of this. And we look forward to catching you next time. Maria and I often do Facebook Lives where we'll actually take live reading questions. So that's probably something we'll do again soon. So, check us out, stay in touch. And we look forward to the next time we cross paths with you. And until then, many, many blessings and God bless you all.
Thank you.
Take care.